Okay, so quick and dirty tests, okay? I noticed no one did that comparison on YouTube, right? Which is comparing a smartphone against an action camera. So now, why I'm doing this, okay? So on the left right here, I have the DJI Osmo Action 3, and right there, the Google Pixel 7. So I just wanted to know how these cameras compare in terms of image quality. So right away, you can see that the Action 3 is way wider than the selfie camera from the Google Pixel 7, of course. So what I will do, I will go outside and see, and using the rear camera of both units and see how they compare. You know, it's just a quick and dirty test. I was just curious. I wanted to know if an action camera shoots better images than a smartphone. Quick and dirty test. So obviously these cameras have an HDR capability, so they will try to lower your highlight and raise your shadow. So let's see how they compare. Okay, I just want to see right there how they handle flare. This is a lens thing, right? Depending on the type of glass that they use for the lens, they have more or less flare resistance. Yeah, so both camera have insane flare and they lose contrast, which is typical. Of course, those are not cinema lens. Okay, so let's go outside and see what happens. I'm outside and just doing a quick test. Again, Pixel 7 Pro against the Osmo Action 3. Just wanted to see how they handle highlight. The sun in my face, sun straight in my face, and remember that these cameras are in automatic mode. Just want to see how they do. Okay, sun in my face. Let me give it. Ooh, the Osmo looks fully blown, but let me give it a chance. I will just go in the setting and see if I can increase the shutter speed. Okay, let's see. Okay, so doing that test again with a real full auto mode. Sun right in my face. And okay, now it handles it a bit better, because earlier my shutter was, the ISO was in auto mode, but the shutter was stuck at 160. Since I'm shooting 4K 30 frames per second, I wanted the shutter to be stuck at 60, but now I put it in full auto mode, just like a smartphone, right? Just to see how they compare. Okay, so that's it. Okay, I'll walk a bit. It's currently 7 p.m. 7 p.m. in Montreal. So this is the Osmo Action 3 camera against the Google Pixel 7 selfie camera, right? You can see right there. Of course, the Osmo is way wider. So now I will switch it up and turn the Pixel 7 camera and use the rear facing camera. Let's go. So now, there you have it. Something a bit more similar. So now I'm using the Pixel 7 ultra wide camera. And again, you can see how insanely wide the Action 3 lens is. And you can even see the distortion here on the lens. Look at these wires. You see the Pixel 7 keeps those wires straight, while the Osmo really distorts them. You see the curvature. So these lens is not dewarped. Obviously there's a feature in the Osmo that allows you to dewarp the image, but this is like the widest setting. I just wanted to show you how wide it is, you know. So now let's keep walking. Okay, you can see how it handles the shadow and the sky. The sky is blue, a nice blue light. Both camera using their HDR capability. This is not the HDR mode of the Osmo, right? This is the standard mode. Obviously there is an HDR mode that was added by firmware, and we'll try that a bit later to see how wide these lenses are. So action camera obviously are extremely wide, especially for sport enthusiasts, people doing ski, scuba diving, mountain bikes. These lenses are insane, you know. And also you'll notice something: stabilization. As of now, I'm using rock steady mode, the regular rock steady mode on the Action 3, and the regular stabilizer on the Google Pixel, right? Oh, here's a good occasion to see the dynamic range. Let's go back on that truck and see the paint, how they handle dynamic range. Ooh, look at this distortion. This lens is insanely wide. Okay, so let's do a quick walk again. Here now, I'll go back here, closer to the forest. Maybe we'll go inside. How about this? Let me just go back here and see. Extreme contrast situation. The sunset in the front and in the forest. So how's the details in the forest using the standard mode? Once inside my editing software, I'll be able to better assess the dynamic range of these cameras, because as of now I'm just using the Action 3 viewfinder and my Pixel 7. So once again, check the dynamic range, sunset, and the forest. So you'll be able to appreciate, once edited, the dynamic range of these cameras. Let's try the main sensor, just to see if is there more dynamic range here. Oh, you can see the phone changing his shutter speed here. You see the transition? You can see the green of the leaves, and then it changes. Now the Osmo Action 3 seems to do it more smoothly, way more smoothly. Interesting. How about the details in the foliage? Let's go back to the ultra wide. How's the color and details of the foliage? This is a fixed shot. Now let's do a slow truck in. How's detail? How's sharpness? Very hard to appreciate on these viewfinders. I'll have to check on my computer a bit later. So let's get into the forests, see how these lands compare. Now, since it's almost the sunset in Montreal, we're getting into low light territory for these types of camera, of course. Low light territory. So here's, you can see some sun stray here, how the camera reacts. They behave properly, right? They don't try to increase their shutter speed or change the exposure because of the sun. They behave properly. I can still see the floor. No change in exposure. So this is great. It's a smart algorithm, you know. Let's see the sky on the top. Again, using the DJI Osmo Action 3 and the Google Pixel 7 ultra wide lens. Let's see with the main lens. Ooh, the image improves drastically, but of course it's not as wide. It's not as wide. Remember, I'm walking, right? So you can compare image stabilization. I'm pretty sure the Action 3 has a better stabilization, right? Rock steady. It's using rock steady algorithm. Let's go back on the ultra wide. Pretty cool. Just a little comparison for fun, right? Obviously, two totally different products. A smartphone and an action camera. They're not quite the same, of course, I know. Just wanted to do it for fun. Just to see how far action cam and smartphone advanced in terms of technology. Okay, so now I will test the Action 3 HDR mode. So right before I do it, so this is the standard mode on the Action 3. Okay, this is a hard scene. The floor is dark and the upper part of the image is very bright. Okay, so I'm centering on this tree in the scene here. So this is the main camera on the Pixel, and this is the wide camera. And now we'll switch to the Action 3 HDR mode and see what's the difference. This is it. So this is the Osmo Action 3 HDR mode. Okay, again against the Google Pixel 7 ultra wide camera. How do they compare? How's the dynamic range difference? There's the main camera on the Pixel 7. The main camera. This scene is not easy. Not easy for any camera. Main camera. Go back to the ultra wide. Okay, let's do a little bit of walking and see how this HDR mode works. Okay. And at the same time, we might take some time to do some sound comparison. So now you're hearing the sound from the Osmo Action 3. I'm behind the camera. And now let's go back to the Pixel. The Google Pixel 7 Pro sound. So how do they sound? How's the microphone and sound processing inside these units? Obviously, you will not get professional sound on a smartphone or on an action camera. But for a vlogger, if you're doing vlog style content, it does the job. As long as we hear you properly and there's not too much wind, noise, I think you're okay, right? I'm walking, there's a bit of wind. And we'll see how it goes in post. I'll see if it sounds good. So again, HDR mode and the Osmo. That's the HDR mode of the Osmo. Let me stop the HDR mode and go back to the standard just to see how it compares again on this scene. This is a high contrast scene. I'm curious. Okay, so this is the standard mode. Did you notice any difference? Not quite sure. Not quite sure what it does. On this small viewfinder, it doesn't seem to show a big difference on the Action 3. Some more walking. I'm trying to keep the framing as similar as possible, guys and girls. Not easy. These phones are not using the same lens. Okay, very good. Another quick test. What's the better vlogging option: a smartphone or an action cam. Let's see how they react to different lighting conditions. I'm trying to keep my head centered. Here you can see the HDR and the Pixel 7 working very hard to keep some shadow details on my face. Obviously this is not natural, right? I mean, the Action 3 has a more natural look, but I'm very underexposed because it tries to keep that sky blue. Let's bring it up a bit. Try to keep my head centered as much as I can. Vlogging style. What is the better vlogging camera? Let's go into the forest again. Real quick, just to see in low light situation what happens. Right? What happens in low light. So this is a low light situation. Ooh, in the viewfinder it seems like okay, maybe hard to say. The Pixel 7 seems to do a great job at keeping my face exposed. Same thing for the Osmo. I think it's not that bad actually. Not that bad. Let's try that HDR mode again. Okay, back on the HDR mode on the Action 3. Is there any improvement? I don't know, we'll see. Let's do a bit of walking. Again, you can see that the rocksteady mode is doing its job. Even on the viewfinder, I can see that my shot is way more stable than the Pixel 7 selfie camera. Okay, so again, let's do that face test, face exposure test. That's the HDR mode on the Osmo. And okay, high contrast scenes. Yeah, definitely you can see that the Action 3 goes toward a more natural look, while the Pixel 7 really tries its best to keep my face exposed. Obviously, you know Google, there's a lot of AI, machine learning type thing involved in this video processing. But not bad. So which one is the better vlogging device, right? Would you vlog with a smartphone like a Pixel 7 or an action camera? How's the sound? Let's do a little quick sound again. Now using the front microphone. So let's see how it sounds using the Action 3. Now I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Microphone check on the Action 3. And let's see with the Pixel 7. Quick test of the Pixel 7 microphone while using the selfie camera. There's 3 microphones on the Action 3, and if I remember properly, I think there's also 3 microphones on the Pixel 7. Yeah, I can definitely see how the Pixel 7 really tries to keep my face exposed. Some people may prefer that. You know, it's not as real as in real life. Obviously, if you try to expose for the sky, you lose exposure in the front. Look at this here. On the Action, I seem to be all black. Well, on the 7, it blows out the sky to keep my face exposed. Interesting. Okay, so there you go. So this is the Action 3 without the rocksteady mode. Insanely wide. Damn. So here's the Action 3 without the rocksteady mode in ultra wide mode. So a bit more shaky, but extremely wide, so wide that it completely, whoa, look at my hand. Hey, damn, this distortion is insane. Insanely distorted, but really wide, ultra wide. If you really want to show people the environment, your feet, your whatever, your arm, look at the length of this arm, damn. Yeah, this is very, very wide. If you're into this type of footage, there you go. So this is without the rocksteady, so a bit shaky. Let's do a quick run. I'm running right now, right? Without the rocksteady mode. Okay. So take a good look at the crop factor, right? I will change between different mode and you will see how it affects the crop factor. So this is without rocksteady. This is with the first rocksteady mode. This is with rocksteady plus, even more stable but more cropped in. Now it starts to get into the Pixel 7 territory. I'm pretty sure that this is close to the Pixel 7 ultra wide crop factor. This is horizontal balancing, so even though I turn the camera, image remains straight. Let's see, 45. If I go more than 45 degree, obviously it swaps, but below 45 degree on each side, it keeps the camera quite stable. Okay, let's do a quick, let's run it a little bit. This is with the rocksteady mode 1, a bit of running, how stable it is. Rocksteady mode 1. Okay, let's go to the rocksteady plus. Now this is a rocksteady plus. Is there a huge difference? I don't know. Rocksteady plus. Okay, so this concludes my little test of a smartphone versus an action camera. In this case, today we tried the DJI Osmo Action 3 with the latest April firmware, April 2023, and a Google Pixel 7 Pro camera, right? Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Tu veux faire une course? On a race? Let's go. A little race. Little race to test the rocksteady stabilization. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Woohoo!